Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We are part of the Athletic Podcast Network. And with me today, as always, on Mondays, is my good friend, Michele Barra. Michele, what's up?
It's a sad day. Like 3 wins. It's too early.
It's too early for 3 wins, guys. What are we doing here?
Yeah. We're already like a third into the number of victories that someone predicted. So it's
I know.
It's too much.
I know. The Zach Lowe prediction of 9 wins is looking quite stupid on this Monday. As are all of the early season takes from all of the talking heads, looking pretty bad because this team they're certainly not a good team. That Spurs team was not good last night. And what was kind of funny is I leaned over to Joe Masada right before the second half started, and I said, you know what? I'm going to predict they're going to win this game. They're down 10.
You should stop. You should really stop. That is on you. Like you already predicted the Lakers twice.
Yeah, stop I did. I predicted it because they're down 10 and they played as horrific as they could have. It could not have been much worse in the first half. No shots were going down. Their defense there was no pop to it at all. There was no physicality on the Thunder side whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't think they shot a free throw once, the Spurs, by halftime.
Yeah.
So that shows you how physical they were. And then the game really kind of ticked up. The Thunder got in gear. They had it tied within just a couple minutes. And, that was, it was kind of within question at the end there, but the Thunder played solid defense there at the end. They didn't let them get a 3-point shot off, even though the Spurs put only 3-point shooters out there. And that's what the Spurs really lack. And that's something that the Thunder have two of is they don't have a good offensive initiator. Like they don't have one, like Keldon Johnson was really about the only guy that was going to get his. Yeah. And then DeJounte Murray's okay. Like he's just okay. Like he's an outstanding defender. He gave Shea fits last night.
He did.
You want to look for the number one reason? Yes. I even asked Shea about it last night, and he didn't really want to admit it. He did say they did a good job, but they made him really uncomfortable last night. They made his handle look a lot looser than it has in a long time to me. And it's just because they have just crazy length. But they don't have anybody to initiate offense. They didn't have anybody to go help them. They got a ton of shooters. And if they just had one guy that could go, help out, it would have been, I think the Spurs could have comfortably won that game. I think the Spurs should have been up 25 at half.
Yeah.
Against the Thunder with how bad the Thunder played. But the truth is, like, the Spurs were just a little bit better, than horrific. And that's what led to it being close and the Thunder eventually taking it. And the reason that it was even close at all, and the reason that they weren't up 25 is because Mike Muscala came in and hit 3 threes, just bang, bang, bang. And Mike is helpful. I wonder, because last season they pulled the plug on Mike. They said, that's enough, Mike. We've had enough, Mike. He's helping too much.
Yeah.
And I wonder when they will pull the plug on Mike again, because I would assume that they will. They did it last season unnecessarily for the entire second half of the season, right?
Yeah.
That's one that people don't talk about. Like everybody talks about Horford. Everybody talks about SGA. Even though the SGA thing was legit, it's funny because like the only things that were just dictated by circumstances were Al Horford and Mike Muscala.
Yeah.
Those were the two things that were dictated by the circumstances that they had, and they wanted to get a look at the other bigs that they had. So perhaps they make a trade for a young big. Yeah, or perhaps they bring Isaiah Roby from the G League, and they're like, oh, we really like Isaiah Roby. And he can play backup center now to JRE. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was an interesting game. It was fun. The arena was popping.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was really excited. Uh, Michele, I could have reached out and touched one of the first NBA prospects that we ever bonded over, and that's Derek White. He just sat right in front of me. He was just right there.
Yeah.
It was kind of it was just a weird moment for me. Just be like, that's Derek White. That's my guy.
Yeah.
That's Michele
Still,
and I's
still
guy right
think,
there.
yeah, still think he was a good pick for us.
He's a good
Like,
pick. He just belongs on a good team.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
Patty
He would
Mills.
help a good team.
Patty Mills looks great, and he's old, but he looks great for the Nets.
Yeah.
If Derek White had a role like that, like all the Bruce Brown love that everybody had last season, I
Yeah.
would be going to Derek White right now. Everybody, look how great he
sure.
is. He can do all these things, but he's not a primary though.
Yeah. On Mike and on the other guy that is responsible for OKC being not bad, that horrible Kenrich Williams guy who keeps playing like great basketball in every game. If you look at the lineup,
Oh no, Michele's gone. We'll talk about lineup data here in a second, but he's talking about the two guys that were most responsible. Here, I'm going to add him back. Are you back?
yes, this is not my connection; is my fat fingers.
I wondered. It cut too cleanly for it to be a connection issue.
Exactly. It's the second time. The first time you were not online. The second one you saw it live. It was too good the first time. I tried again. I tried to pull on a clean the glass all the lineups with all the lineups for OKC, and the net rating is pretty bad. But if you add Kenrich, Mike, and Shea, like those lineups are positive. And if you add Giddey on 200 possessions, so not it's still very, very low.
Not enough, yeah.
Not enough, but still, the eye test is those lineups really work, and the data suggests exactly the same. If you add Giddey, now we're going into the very, very narrow number of possession. It's 65. They work really well, and to me, it makes all the sense in the world. Like you have a center that can space the floor, a very high IQ player that can defend and can hit an open shot in Kenrich Williams. You have two amazing ball handlers. Those lineups will be there in like two close games. And I discussed with John this morning for Thunder After Dark one possession that I think it's worth to mention here. For the rest, go there and listen to everything. But there was a moment in Giddey's game. It was not a good game for him. It was terrible in terms of shot selection in the first half. The shot wasn't falling, but Mark Daigneault decided to put him back when the moment was like the most important moment of the game. Like OKC was there. I think it was +3 OKC possession. And he takes the ball, makes a head fake, and the defense goes completely wild, and he finds an open shooter. I don't remember who that was, but it was a clean three, and OKC made it. Or no, sorry, he faked the pass for an open three and found JRE probably under the basket. It was a moment where he was in complete control.
It was Dort.
Ludor. Yeah, okay. I messed up.
They were up 95-92.
Yeah, that possession.
Lonnie just made 2 free throws, and it was like the possession of the game because there was 51 seconds left.
Exactly.
And it was like, okay, now like you either ice the game or
it's free throws.
You play the free throws or whatever. But Giddey, and that's what I'm talking about with like creating a bucket. Like the Spurs couldn't create something. And again, like Shea didn't have it going last night, but he still pulled the defense away enough so that Giddey could get into the action. And then, Dort's just a smart basketball player too, and he was in the right spot, and Giddey found him just for an easy bucket. And you have to credit Mark, you have to credit Giddey for taking that moment on. Like that was a big deal. And it's frustrating. Like the wins can be frustrating, but like I don't know, they're 3-6. It's not like they're world beaters here. I think that they're still going to be, and I predicted like during the summer that they'd be anywhere from like 3 to 8 or something like that. And I still think that that's probably the case. The preseason and the beginning of the season made us kind of recalibrate that a little bit, but I think we have to kind of bump back to where we started, where they're going to be the 20 to 25 wins probably. Normal bad is all that they're going to be. Like they're going to be a normal bad team.
Yeah.
And the fact that they have some fight in them, I think that's a good thing. And it can be frustrating, but they're being coached well. They're learning good habits. I think that they need to get some of these G League guys back and put them in the rotation, because if those guys are in the rotation instead of some of the other guys like Kenrich and Favors and Muscala, then things are a little different. Although Favors was
bad.
Really bad last night. Missed some
Yeah.
bunnies, like some easy stuff. Like the Thunder should have won that game by 12 if Favors just made the easy shots that were there for him. But yeah, Mike, I think this is the first time this season that Shea was not the leading scorer for the team. It was Mike Muscala who had 20 points, 4 boards, 2 blocks on the night, and he was overall a +8. Really nice night from him. You know who else had a really nice night, McKelly?
I know who.
You know who else was really good at the podium last night, McKelly?
I think I know.
Darius Bazley had his best game ever.
Yes.
I'm going to call it. And it has nothing to do with his shooting percentages. I don't care if he went 0 of 9. But if he played the smart basketball that he did with the passing, rebounded the ball extremely well, was locked in energy-wise for the entire game. And that's something that I've really been looking for. Is he locked in with his energy on all plays, and not just the big plays? Is it every play? And last night he was.
I completely agree. He was very, very, very good, and I loved everything he did on the basketball court. I love the way in which he drive the basket and not forced anything. He found others, and I think this is the Bazley that I think is down there somewhere. The Bazley who knows when to take a shot and when not to force a three. The Bazley that can take an advantage onto big guys that are slower than him, and he put together a very good game from top to bottom. And he deserved to be on the court for the majority of the closing minutes. He was helpful, and he was not taking like ISO shots for no reasons. And I think that is the goal for him. Now, will that continue? I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it. I want to see it like for a couple of weeks before we decided that this is a new way. But hey, if this is the way, then that player has a place on a good team, not generally in the league, because he was effective defensively. Maybe it helped that he didn't have to guard, as John mentioned this morning, a guy like Anthony Davis. Like it helps. It really helps. And maybe like Bazley is more tuned to guard guys like Paul George. I remember in the bubble when he guarded Paul George, and it was really good. He was able to stay with him on switches. Maybe he's more like a wing defender than he is like a big defender. And yeah, if you can find a guy like Giddey who's better in defending fours, and then maybe, I don't know, something like that, maybe it will work out. Because offensively, if that is his role, like a guy that can beat his man off the dribble and create for others, and maybe finding some good shots at the rim and maybe hitting a three once in a while, then that player has, that player is helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was really, really good. I loved Mark's answer about him last night. Did you hear any of that?
No.
So I just asked him, like, hey, I think I said something like, Bazley was really good tonight. I thought he brought great energy. Like, what are your thoughts on his night? And he said that he said that was a new ceiling for what he can bring physically and energy-wise. He said he basically will do this thing where he hits a new level. And he did. He hit a new level last night. And then like Mark's well aware and is willing to speak honestly about Bazley too, because he said the next thing he said was the next step is, can he do that consistently?
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you do it again? Because of course he can do it like he did it tonight. That's great. But he, and even Bazley, I mean, he is up and down when it comes to like how he speaks to the media. But he's very up last night. He started off by not answering a question, but just shouting out Mike Muscala and talking about how much he respects Mike and his game and his work ethic and things like that. And like Joe asked for a little bit more from that. Like, why did you, like, what prompted you to say that? And he talked about how he looks up to Mike, and it was like, okay, that's cool, that's great. And I asked him, sometimes you want to ask guys about like these big moments they have just to see, if they are going to say anything. And I asked him about his putback dunk that he had last night, where he like went up like big time.
Wow, that was some
like
dunk.
that was it was one of those moments where like everybody's kind of looking around like, whoa, that's really impressive. And he got really excited to talk about it. And he actually went into it by talking about, he's like, yeah, like before the game, I was talking to one of the coaches about my offensive rebounding or getting back on defense. And he just told me that I need to be more decisive on what I decide to do. And he said that as I was sitting on the bench, I just saw a lot of the Spurs' eyes just watching the ball go up. And he said, I knew that I could crash the boards and, have some success because there was a lot of watching and not a lot of physicality. And
interesting.
It was just a really interesting, good answer that I didn't expect. I just thought he would just be like, oh yeah, I just went up and got it and slammed it, and that was really cool. That's kind of the general answer you get from people. But he went into it as to like why he did it. And then he talked about like, the timing he was like, it just ended up being perfect. The timing just ended up being perfect with the way the ball bounced. So
yeah,
I thought that was interesting. And I'm with you that I won't believe it till I see it with regards to Bazley on his consistency. But last night, like, that was the vision for what he can do. And it's not taking ISO possessions. It's not being a ball stopper. It's making a decision once you get the ball. Are you driving? Are you shooting? What are you doing? Whatever you need to do it. Like, just do it. Don't stand there and try to assess the defense, because you're not that guy. Shea's that guy. Shea can stop the ball and assess what he wants to do and then just go get it. Bazley's not that guy, and that's okay. There aren't very many of those guys in the NBA.
Yeah.
So it's perfectly fine that he's not that guy. But if he is the guy that plays hard on defense, grabs boards, pushes the pace of the game, and can just make plays, like, that's, wow, what a valuable player. Whether he starts or comes off the bench, doesn't matter. But that's a top 8 guy on every team. He would have played on, if that's the Darius Bazley you get every night, which it's not, but if it was, he would play on every NBA team that the Thunder have played so far. He would play and start on a lot of them. Like, the Lakers would kill for a guy that played like that every night. Like, they need somebody like that desperately. Like, he would be perfect to pair next to Anthony Davis, if that's what he did. But the problem is that's not what he does. That's not what he does every night. And so we just need to see if he can continue to push to like blossom and become that. And we saw the same thing. We've seen the same thing with lots of different players for the Thunder throughout the years, where they're young and they put together this stretch, and you're like, wow, like, we've seen it with Abrinas, we saw it with Ferguson, we've seen it with lots of guys, and then they could flame out. Or we saw it with Jeremy Grant.
Exactly. I was about to say, yes.
Like, what is Jeremy Grant going to be? Well, for a while there, it looked like, I don't know, he's going to be anything.
Yeah, it's like a staying the corner guy. He seems good at defense, but he's really not. He's like just long and athletic. And then the next year, maybe he's good at defense. Maybe he's playing like center minutes. What is that? And then, hey, that Jeremy guy, useful player. And if that is the projection that Bazley will have in the coming years, hey, sign me up. But again, we need to see it. It's one game. It's one very good game. A game that will give you like a lot of positives. I remember Theo Maledon last year playing against Portland, and he was so decisive with his three ball. Like he was letting it fly after every single screen. Wow, what a game! We like the Theo that is assertive. We like the Theo that is taking threes, like aggressively getting to the basket. And that was about it. Like he was never there again. So you never know. But I like the fact that, and this is something that I think James Anderson asked me multiple times on Twitter and on Thunder After Dark and stuff like Question of the Day and stuff like that, about the possibility for Bazley to be a mismatch in pick and rolls for big guys. I completely agree with that, especially if you have a guy like JRE that is so smart and he knows where to be. In multiple occasions, he was the recipient of Bazley's passes because he was able to move and to be in the perfect spot to get the ball after the pick and roll or the drive from Bazley. So those things are very interesting to me. I still wonder if Bazley would be best in a bench role where he can like just cook on slower guys, like on the Eubanks. On the Thad Youngs, like I don't know if we could like pair him with a elite shot blocker like Bolton. I don't know if his effectiveness is the same. Maybe it's not the chance that he had his best game against the Spurs, who has basically no rim protection and no rebounding. But again, even if that production is the production of a guy that comes off the bench, that is still very good. That is still 23rd pick worthy if you can get like a good rotation player out of pick number 23. I really think that if this is the Bazley, great. We just need to see it for a bit longer.
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy for him. I'm happy to see that that something at least clicked for one night. Now, it's time to build on that. Jeremiah was really good last night too, and showed you glimpses of what is to come, because he's already doing like the things that we are like begging Darius Bazley to do. Like he just does them, you know. Like he's locked in. He's not as athletic as Bazley is, but he makes smart plays on offense.
Yes,
takes good shots. Takes wide open shots. The thing that will be one of the defining things for his career is, does anybody care if he shoots? And if he continues to shoot like he does, they'll eventually care. They don't care right now. Like nobody cares right now. But eventually, if he keeps shooting like this, maybe they'll care. And then can he continue to shoot like that when they care? I think is an important thing.
Can I say something silly on JRE?
Yeah.
I don't think that him being a starter or not depends on his offense. I think that the major challenge for him is he going to be able to play center minutes regularly from a rim protection and rebounding standpoint. And I think like if you take a guy like that and he's able to play center minutes for you, the offensive part, again, I don't have any doubts. I mean, yes, we can say is he a 35% shooter or better? Is he 4 threes per game or better? But I really question the rebounding and the way in which he can impact defense. He can switch. I'm kind of confident that he can switch. At which level, I don't know. But can he stand in the post against a good guy? Right now, no, he doesn't. And I think that answer will not be here until like maybe year 3, year 4. But if that happens, he will be a very good player.
Yeah, I mean, he's played 9 games. So
exactly.
And he's
but I have more question on the defensive side. I don't know why. But offensively, he's just one of those guys that knows how to play defense. It's like Kenrich. Kenrich knows how to play. Offense. Kenrich knows how to play
Yeah,
offense.
he knows how to play. Yeah. I just believe he'll figure it out on the defensive end. Like, he's too smart. He's too tough. He's too strong to not figure it out. His feet are good enough.
Yes.
To do it. So I really just don't have that many concerns about him. I love that they're playing him big minutes to start the season. I think that's going to be tremendous just for his progression, because he's ready. He's ready to get out there. And is he going to defend perfectly every night? No, but he's going to get stronger. And I don't know, he's an insightful guy too.
Will he be meaner than what he is right now? Like a little bit more, I don't know, Draymond Green-ish?
He's friends with Draymond. Draymond's one of his mentors. I don't know.
Draymond has no friends.
Yeah. I don't know what I call him yet, Jeremiah. Jeremiah is not mean. He's not he's a joy to be around as a human being. So that nastiness will not come from his personality, will not come from his innate personality, which I don't know. I mean, there are like genuinely nice, like Tim Duncan, like had some nastiness to him, but like, personally, I don't know if I've ever heard anything bad about him. Steve Nash is the same. Steve Nash had some nastiness to him out on the court, but just a wonderful guy. Chris Paul has some nastiness, and he's not, like, personally, like, incredible person. So there's not necessarily a line of delineation there. There are, like the Rasheed Wallaces and Dennis Rodmans and, Draymond Greens of the world, who are just a little bit more brash,
Yeah, but those guys are guys that carry a lot in the defensive end. By the way, when should we start being a little bit like nervous about Dort?
Oh, it's a good question. Let me pull up his season stats.
Oh, no, you don't want to do that. You really don't want to do that.
I mean, Lou is 34% from the field.
Oh.
22% from three.
Nice.
89% from the line.
Hey, that's good.
That's good. Where is he? And he shot the second most free throws on the team. So it's not like nothing. He's 25 of 28 for the season. So I'm not concerned, man. I'm just not. This season, there's not a lot that he can do this season, good, bad, whatever, to make me feel like he's not he's a rotation guy. There's just not a lot that I'm not worried. I've seen him enough where I don't know. I'm not worried.
We are questioning Bazley a lot for his decision making. Sometimes I see Dort making the same rush judgment calls, like I'll drive and just whatever.
He did it last night. He did it last night. He got the rebound, and Shea was right next to him. I don't know if you remember this play. I can't remember when it was. Had the ball, and he was just ignored Shea, drove the ball all the way down the court, drove to the basket, and nothing happened. I get it. The reason that I don't care as much, the thing that I do, the decision making stuff kills me with Bazley, but the effort stuff kills me even more. And like Dort is locked in every game. If he could play 48 minutes, he would do it, and he'd be locked in for 48.
Yeah.
So I would, when this team is good again, and if Dort's on it, his job is take open shots and defend the best player on the perimeter. Like, that's his job.
But he should make them a bit.
I'm not worried. I'm just not worried about that.
Okay.
I'm not worried about the results.
I am a little bit. Let me say this, because I didn't buy the fact that he would magically be a good finisher at the rim, mainly because there is less space on some of the lineups that he plays with. Like when you
no
have
doubt about that.
when you have Jerry and in favors and Bazley. Wow, where's the space? Like it's and Giddey is not a floor spacer. Not right now, at least. So it's there's really nothing there. And there is a comment here about Eric Castilla. Dort is a winning player. I agree. I completely agree. I mean, I love Lou Dort. He's a guy that is one of these of the players that I was mentioning before, like the guy that will carry you a long way because of their defense. But I'm slightly worried about the offensive side of the ball, where I don't see many things that he wasn't doing last year, and last year he was doing them in a better way. And now it seems to me that in order to be a good finisher, he's trying that way too much. And
he had a nice
I don't
nifty
know.
finish there last night. Spun it off the backboard. Yes. I like that.
Yes.
Who's shooting better? Who's shooting better 0 to 3 feet this season? Lou Dort or Ty Jerome?
Lou Dort.
It's Ty Jerome, actually. I'm trying to throw you off right now. Who's shooting better at the rim, Lou Dort or Poku?
How many shots? Like Poku, like 1 shot, 2 shots, 5.
It's not many. I don't know. I don't have the total number of shots here. This is on Basketball Reference.
That's probably Lou Dort.
It's Poku.
Okay, better. That's bad. Tell me the percentage of Lou Dort.
What about Josh?
Josh is clearly better. He should be better. Don't tell me that he's worse.
A lot worse.
Josh Giddey?
Lou Dort. Yep.
I don't believe that.
Lou Dort from 0 to 3 feet this season, 63%.
What?
Yep.
No, I don't believe that either. They are not. No, that's wrong. That's a wrong stat. Or maybe
54%. Of all people, that would not let the numbers lie.
No, you know what? Really? Do you have the numbers on drives, like the points per drive?
I can pull it up. I can call it up real quick. It's perplexing, isn't that? Isn't that a little?
It is perplexing to me.
Also, Giddey is, and I don't know where to find this stat. Maybe you know where to find this stat. He has to be near the top of the NBA in getting your own offensive rebound off of your own missed shot, right?
Yeah.
He does it all the time.
I
think he did it twice last night. But he's very good at it. And so that also means like you have to miss those shots. In order to be able to get those.
Still confused. My mind is like trying to figure out why my mind calculated that Lou Dort was below 50% on drives, and now you're telling me that it's 60 and change.
Well, let me look at the drives. Just chill out for just a second, McKelly. It's okay. Hold on.
It's turnovers and like charges and stuff like that.
All right, let me take a look. All right, drives per game. He is third on the team in drives per game, 10.6 drives per game. Shea is 22.9. Giddey is 13.8. Let's see. Points per drive is 4.5 points per drive for Lou against Dort.
That's better.
Yeah.
But still high. Well, anyway, I'm wrong. It happens. It happens quite a lot. I see too many drives in crowded areas where just...
He is attempts 1.5. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. Field goal attempts. 3.1 field goals attempts per game on drives, and he's making 1.6, shooting 52% on drives. Turnovers, he's first on the team at 1.1. Shea is at 1. Giddey's at 0.9.
Okay, that's a little bit better. So on 5 offensive possessions, 1 is turnovers, 4 is shots, and he makes 1.7. So 1.7 on 5 is better, like 2 in my mind. Now
he's shooting a
that,
better percentage on drives than Shea.
Yeah.
And Giddey and Bazley and
but
Kenrich.
the relative number of turnovers is really high.
Yeah.
For him compared to the number of shots. So he's 1.7 made.
But do you feel a little bit better about him now? Are we feeling better about Dort?
No.
Getting some Dort feelings here?
No. It's one turnovers. One turnovers on and 1.7 made. That is bad. But anyway, I don't know. Something is off. I think, in his distribution and the way in which he generates offense for himself. I think I have this idea, and I really paid attention. It was this morning, when I was watching the game, and it seems off to me. Now, I think that he should be more willing to take open threes. I wouldn't really mind if he ends up taking 6 threes per game, because I think that is more similar to what he will do in the future compared to let me drive 10 times per game. I don't think that is in a closeout situation, probably. But my ideal distribution for Dort is 10 shots and 6 are threes and 4 are like drives / like transitions and stuff like that. Maybe 5 and 5. But to me right now, the production is a little bit skewed. And I don't know. Something is a bit off. But maybe it's just my mind that it's tricked me. Maybe I'm not paying enough attention. I don't know. It's early in the morning when I watch games. Can I have that excuse?
Yes, I'll give you that. This is funny. 3 guys on the team have made 11 threes, total threes. Lou Dort, he's 11 of 49. Whoa, 22%. Darius Bazley, 11 of 41, 26%. Oh, wow, yikes. Mike Muscala, 11 of 27. That's 40%. That's pretty good. Oh, and then 1, 2, 3 guys are also have taken 27 total threes. Wow. Mike Muscala is number 1 at 40%. Josh Giddey, 7 of 27, which is 25%, which is a winning number for you.
Yes, exactly.
I'm winning. Ty Jerome.
JM coming.
Ty Jerome, 7 of 27 as well. The exact same number as Giddey.
It's not going to stay that way. I am 100% sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite interesting.
How many trees Shea has right now?
60.
22 30.
60. 36.7%.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's good. And like going back to the beginning of the pod where we were saying this is not a good team. Yeah, it's not a good team. But if you let's analyze these games with a bit of like no bias. They were very bad for 2 games. The first 2 games, they were bad. You could say they were only really bad against Houston. That was a very bad, very, very bad game. But for the rest, they were not bad. Like for multiple parts of any game that they played after Houston, they were competitive. Maybe not in Golden State, which is, in my opinion, and I didn't bet, but I feel like a plus, like a over under form. I put them like over, sure over. So that to me is a very good team, and it's no embarrassment to be bad in San Francisco. In every other game, they were competitive, and you could say that in Los Angeles they should have gone 2-0 and not 1-1 because they were better than the Clippers. And if you sum all this up, this is not a bad team. Again, this is a team that is weirdly competitive, and they are competitive while shooting awfully from the 3-point line, which is scary because, Bazley will probably be bad. Giddey will not be a good shooter. Poku, I don't know. But all the others,
I don't know.
I have no idea.
But no, that's good.
All the others are probably going to be better, and there will be nights where Lou Dort shoots 6 out of 8, and you will win that game if it's against a normal team. Like they beat San Antonio while shooting 28%. I know that that San Antonio shot worse than them, but 28%, it's still very bad. So
it's bad. It's very bad.
It's very bad.
Yeah. It's man. Yeah, I don't know. This team is not they're not good, but they're fun. They're at least playing they play hard. And especially it's nice when there's a crowd that's back and that you have something where I mean, it's not a bag over your head Sixers situation, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's not what they are at all.
No.
Which I think for an Oklahoma City crowd, that's a good thing. So, all right, we will be right back after this quick break. We're going to look at the standings. We're going to talk other teams. We're going to preview the rest of the week. We'll be right back. And we're back from that quick break. Let's take a look at these Tankathon standings right now. The Thunder, if the lottery order was just what it was, the Thunder would be picking 6th in the draft. Sounds quite familiar to me to be picking 6th. The teams that are ahead of them in the reverse standings: San Antonio Spurs at 3-7, who they could have flip-flopped with. Orlando, who got a win last night with Cole Anthony. You're rethinking any of your Cole Anthony takes?
No, thank God I don't have time to watch the Magic, or at least I didn't as of today. So I don't know. I do know, and this was extremely perplexing to me, that the best lineup in the league that played more than 250 possession is drum roll. Let me read it out loud because it's extremely weird. Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., and Mo Bamba, plus 18.2 points per possession. That
scream. It's just the word I hear screamed at me is unsustainable.
Yeah, still
Ain't
weird.
no way.
And Terrence Ross is the tank commander of Orlando. He's a fat minus 22.2 when he plays, which is he's leading them exactly where they need to go. We need a tank commander as well. We need Derek Favors to be our tank commander. He's
trying last
just
night,
lead
man.
them.
He's missing all the buddies.
He tried. Mark should start him and play him big minutes because it's clearly relevant to our together with Maladon. That would be a pairing. Play Maladon and Favors 25.
Yep.
No, I would probably stop watching. But anyway.
Yeah. Playing Maladon 25 minutes a game is helpful. It's helpful to losing basketball games. He's just the way I describe him, he's like just the most benign NBA player ever. Because like he could play a ton of minutes and you just wouldn't even know.
Oh, believe me, I did notice him last night. I was there like staring. Why are you taking not another one? No. Oh no.
Mark pulled him. He's gonna play in the G League, man.
Yes.
I can see that happening.
Great shit point guard. Let's go. I want to see that.
Veet played 5 seconds last night.
Yeah.
5 whole seconds. I mean, wow.
Can I say something? I want to say something. I want to see Aaron Wiggins with the team.
Yeah.
Big time.
You'll see it. It will happen.
But I want to see it tomorrow, like in 2 days. I don't know. It has to happen. He's very good.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why he's not playing, but I don't know. He's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you could see it. I think you could certainly see it. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I think we'll see everything this season. I think that's what we'll see. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of this week for the Oklahoma City Thunder. On Wednesday, they play the New Orleans Pelicans in New Orleans, who are just an atrocious basketball team. Just about as bad as it gets right now.
But hey, they have Valanciunas. I'm really hopeful.
They extended him.
Yeah, they have him. He
Extended
can. Yeah,
Valanciunas.
like to me that like this is a you want to get fired move. Like last season,
Yeah.
you traded for a big man that clearly didn't fit with Zion, and you extend him before any regular season minutes. You trade him away in order to get another big and extend him again without like a single minutes. And then you know that Valanciunas agreed, like was amenable to the trade only because he was extended, blah blah blah. Come on, what are you doing?
It's so bad.
Like, at least stop. What is forcing you to extend Valanciunas right now? You can offer him free agency money. I don't know. And if you can't, that's better for you. Like, don't pull the
Yeah.
trigger. Just stand and wait. Like, how many
So
teams do you
bad.
really believe that can offer Valanciunas like good money? Why? And he's very good, but he's not like the center that will put you over the hump. Like he will not
Mm-mm.
put you in contention. He will never be your center when the game is on the line and you're in the playoffs. He will be on the bench.
Memphis has just got to be giggling about it because, like, you get Steven Adams, who is just a nice player, and they've got
Yeah.
young guys that are developing behind him, and that the hope
Yeah.
is when Steven expires, they can bring in these other guys. And you know, it was just, Memphis did a great job, and the Pelicans are like the anti-Memphis of this season. They want to be Memphis. It's funny because like they have the Zion thing going on, and then it's like, okay, then what did the two teams do after selecting
Yeah.
1 and 2? Like, how did they? And they're both not. They're both like not tanking franchises, and that's fine. Like, you don't. That's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's totally fine. Just depends on your goals and how you want to accomplish them. And
Yeah.
but man, Memphis has done a tremendous job of putting the right guys around Ja, and at least putting like good potential players. And even though like the Pelicans got like this they made some outstanding trades, right? That's what the Grizzlies didn't have, is that they didn't have the Anthony Davis trade,
Yeah.
and they didn't have the Drew Holiday trade. And like they had the benefit of those things.
And
And
yet they
they have
screw up.
still just crashed and burned, like just in an embarrassing fashion. I mean, it is
Yeah.
about as bad as it gets for the Pelicans.
I wonder what is the future of a franchise like Memphis and Dallas and New Orleans, to be honest
Sure.
with you.
Yeah.
They had very good draft talent,
Mm-hmm.
like Zion, Ja, Luka, of course. But to me, like in every of these franchises, and we can include Atlanta, so you can go back to your a little bit too early thing with Atlanta. Um, like how they improve really to title contention. For New Orleans, it's nice. I mean, they will probably be so bad that they maybe get Chet or Paulo or whoever because they will be so bad. For Memphis,
But the
though,
roster
and
is still so much of a mess, and that's what I love about this OKC roster, is that it's so flexible.
yeah, but because Zion is a mess right now, the issue with New Orleans is not like Griff didn't do like
But they
the
still have
center thing
Ingram.
with
They still have Ingram.
yeah,
Like
but the point is but
Ingram's not
Zion,
bad.
what is he doing? Like that is the issue. That is the real
Yeah,
issue.
it's a big issue.
It's
It's
like
a huge
who
issue.
is he? Like is he a guy that will never be in shape? Is he a guy that will be in shape? Does he
Did you
care?
watch that Barkley video that I think Jay sent it to the chat?
I didn't. I saw the clip, but I didn't click on it because it was middle of the
Give you
night.
a quick overview. It was Charles Barkley saying that Zion looks like it was something like, it looks like Shaq and I had a baby.
I mean,
And
but the
it's
point to me is
true.
not
He looks incredibly out of shape.
exactly.
And as a young player, as a young guy, I mean,
That is
guys
not
get
good.
like that later in their career. It's bad. Not only is he out of shape, but he's constantly injured.
Exactly.
It could be, unless, I mean, he's got to get it in gear quick.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, like a Hall of Fame career, because that's where he was headed, had he just
Oh yeah.
been in
Yeah.
shape to go play. And maybe he'll get
Yeah.
it all together and he still will have that. But if he
And if you get
doesn't,
Chet, hey, that is probably the perfect guy to pair with a guy like Zion. Like put like a 3-point shooting machine, like blocking shot, passing the ball big alongside him.
yeah,
Hey, that will work. That will finally work. No Jackson Hayes, no Steven Adams, no Valanciunas, just the big that can create.
I don't trust their management to do the right thing with that.
Yeah, but again, going back to my original take, like it's extremely hard to build a successful franchise, and you have the amount of moves that you really have is so tiny that you
Yeah.
screw one up, you are in big troubles. Now, I was reading through the chat, and yes, the Memphis Grizzlies took a swing on Zaire Smith. Great. Is that the way in
Williams.
which you want to?
Zaire
Yeah,
Williams.
maybe that will work. Maybe Ja Morant will be enough to be in title contention. But you're in Memphis. It's hard to get another star. Same
It
as
is.
OKC. That is extremely hard.
It's all about the
And
team goals, though. I don't know that Memphis has the same aspirations that like Presti has like put out there. I think Memphis just like wants to be in the mix.
if
You
that is
know,
the case, yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
I do.
that is so much of like that is the element that is like should be the number one question when talking about team building. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, what's the goal? Like when you have like these flow charts, like what's the goal? And it's this sends you here, this sends you there. That's the top question for team building. What's the goal? We would like to be in the playoffs every year. Wow. Okay, great. Your flow chart starts here. We want to win it. We
yeah,
want to win an NBA championship. Well, your flow chart starts way over here.
yeah.
It's a very different thing.
We're gonna do that and building a sustainable franchise. Hey, that's your
Yeah.
your
Then
flow chart, which is basically
it
a
starts
line.
way over there. It's way different
Yeah,
because when you start comparing like OKC to Memphis and OKC to even a team like the Wizards, it's like, okay, great. They have different goals. They want different outcomes. Like the Wizards just want to be
yeah.
solid.
And sometimes, and I really love, I love it like every single week. But this week of Slam and Jam was really good because of that. Because the Raptors, the way in which Tasmel talked about the Raptors was very good. I mean, they never rebuild again
Yeah.
under Masai, which is true. They went another way, like a difficult way. They were
Mm-hmm.
like there, waiting, and they pulled the trigger in the right moment, and everything went right for them. But they were
Mm-hmm.
there. So this is another way, and you could say that OKC tried to do the same with Paul George,
Yeah, they certainly
and
did.
it didn't go that
They
way.
certainly did. Yeah.
So it's true, there is not a single way. But the point is, you need to build and to have something stable. And maybe this is what Memphis is trying to do. Like, let's build something very stable alongside a very good player in Ja Morant. And if the right player comes around, hey, that is the way in which we go there. And if not, we'll be relevant for 6,
Yeah.
7, 8 years.
Mm-hmm. And still, the Raptors needed that ball to bounce just right
Oh
against
yeah,
the Sixers. And they needed Kevin Durant
and
and
Achilles.
Klay Thompson to go down in the finals
Yeah,
to get it. It's just the margins are just once you get there, the margins are so slim, and it just takes just one. I mean, you just take away one bounce of the ball. You take away you cut off Kevin Durant's toes
yeah,
before the game against the Bucks. The Bucks don't have a title. The
yeah,
Bucks don't have a title. If he just scoots back, the
yeah,
Bucks don't have a title. We're talking inches.
yeah.
You know,
This is why we
the
love basketball. In the end,
yeah, yeah. It is a game, it comes I mean, to talk about like football being like a game of inches, basketball is like just as much the same. Like it just like an inch here and there. There's no Bucks title, there is no Raptors title. Like they can just be wiped out just by saying like, "Hey,
yeah,
let's change it. Let's change it just this much." That's it.
yeah.
It's different. And also the Sixers might be different too. If that ball doesn't bounce in,
Who knows?
what if the Sixers go to the finals and Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson get hurt, and the Sixers win the NBA championship?
Maybe Ben Simmons
Jimmy
is now
Butler's
a player.
on that team. Like Jimmy Butler probably stays in Philly. They try to figure it out. The Heat completely different. The Heat, I mean, it's just you just have to realize like, how fragile like every single situation is. Just because that ball bounced the way it did, Miami got a finals run. Because if that ball didn't bounce the right way, Miami doesn't go to the finals. And like, what do we think about Miami? They don't have Jimmy. They don't have Kyle Lowry. They don't have like this great start that they've had this year. Just is all just like the NBA ethos is like very fragile, and like things change with the literal bounce of a ball. Like that's how, I mean, Klay Thompson misses 3 of his threes in 2016. Things are very different here.
See,
things change.
You went there. You did it this time.
You kind of have to. When you're talking about these situations, you have to, right? It's just
Dion Waiters just doesn't go away to Miami. He doesn't get his like Bears. How was that? Like Eddie Balls? I don't remember. That was a fine.
Oh man. Okay. Anything else? Oh, McKelly, are you frozen? Yeah, he's frozen. Okay. November 15th, you guys. We are going to have a Down to Dunk night at the arena.
Damn internet connection ruined my joke.
There he is.
Anyway. It's time. Internet is saying to me that it's time to go.
That's right. A week from today, we are going to be meeting a ton of you guys at the Tap House across the street from the arena to do a live podcast, which I'm very excited about. Alex will be here. McKelly will not be here, which is so sad, but Jay, Taylor, Luke will be there. We'll all be live on stage. You can come meet us, hang out, then we will walk together over to the game. We'll all get to sit together. We're going to make up outrageous chants, which we'll talk about on Wednesday with Al, and then we'll like finalize some chants on Friday with the FryPod crew. So get ready for that. That's going to be so fun. Then after the game, we'll go down on the court. We will take a picture together on the court, and it's going to be just wonderful. It's going to be so nice. So, yeah. I think you can still buy tickets if you want to. Just go to the Down to Dunk Twitter page, click the pinned tweet link, and you can go buy a ticket and get into the game with us and do the half-court shot competition after the game too. So really looking forward to that. Cannot wait. It's going to be super fun. They play the Heat, and it's going to be it should be actually a pretty interesting game. I'm really interested to see how they play against that Miami team at home. So, all right, let's go to the stream real quick. Let's see who's here with us. We have Lawrence Field, Chad, Scott, Jake, Art, The Fluky, Cody McChicken, Eric Castile, Zach Vobernick, sorry. Timothy Hale, A Name, Wade Johnson, 1. Alex Bullerjack is here. Nathan Creamer is here. Shannon Ward, Poppin is here. Hoops Talk 69, as always. Hybrid, Dude Buffet, Gerardo Martinez is here. Fitness 2018, Blue Diamond Gem. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining. Have a great rest of your Monday, and we will talk to you guys again. Kevin Chin, Jesse Smith, Joseph Dieterman, Frank Turman on Wednesday.